Oh, Shanae's line of everyone is always celebrating everyone. I don't get it. Hey, Shanae is just another type of villain. And with her, I can't figure out if it is all a ploy, like an act, or if she's actually sort of believing what she's saying. Like, are those actually her feelings? I don't know. Sometimes I really can't tell with her. Like, later on in the episode, I'm not sure if she's lying or I don't know. So Sarah has her one-on-one date. Oh, this. Yeah, they're doing silly things like running through the streets and doing the whole breaking stuff, answering the questions within. The singing the feelings thing was interesting. Okay, so here there was a quick catch of a scene of her verging on getting sort of emotional, like almost crying. And I wondered in that moment if she had sort of a stage fright sort of thing, isn't comfortable with public speaking, which I know can sort of be, yeah, just a really scary situation. And I know when I had to do public speaking stuff, my breath would sort of become a little erratic. My ears got really hot and turned red. My knee would start shaking, like, because adrenaline is just pumping through my body. So I wondered if it was something along those lines, but they didn't stick on that or elaborate on that. And then later on at night, their conversations also were like, after today and how we just got through things, now it like reassures me for the future, and like my connection is growing so much stronger with you. And as I'm listening to them talk on this, I didn't get it because nothing happened on their date. They didn't hit any sort of obstacle that they had to come like overcome together. So I didn't understand why suddenly we were having these sort of deep and almost connecting conversations around, I feel so safe with you and we can get through anything together. Like, he was also saying that towards her, that you really helped me to just sort of get through today. And it was just like, what happened? You guys just did silly things in front of a handful of cops and like three people. And then Becca sitting on the sidelines, like, I don't know, a proud mama at soccer camp. It was just like, I didn't see anything of note sort of go down except for that split second of a clip we saw. But again, we didn't see what happened. We didn't see if she actually did sort of have a little bit of a breakdown and he had to sort of like ease her into it and just be like, like, we're gonna do this together and it's gonna be silly and fun, but you know, it's just, I don't know, I didn't really get that. For the most part, I almost do feel like this episode was a little bit of a throwaway episode. I don't feel that anything much happened except for really Shanae. And even with Shanae, because going into the second group date with the whole lifeguarding training sort of stuff that they were doing, or the shrimp debacle, I I there is a little bit, so I laughed out loud again when Elizabeth was talking with Shanae and like the group of girls at the nighttime portion, and she had said something like, I don't know why, like, Shanae was saying that she didn't want to speak on Elizabeth. Elizabeth is not her concern or something like that. And Elizabeth's like, well, apparently I am. I'm like always on your mind. And it just made me laugh so hard because yeah, with this episode, we saw two instances of whatever Elizabeth did, Shanae was also going to do. So the cooking of the shrimp, and then it did that thing where it just cut off, stopped recording, and the last 10 or a little bit more, under 10 minutes, was not recorded. I really hate when that happens. But of course, I bring this on myself. I did not delete the hour-long video that I had recorded the other day for my sort of commentary on the royal treatment, which, by the way, if you want to watch that, is also on my channel. And yes, it's in 3 parts because I only get 15 minutes, but I don't know, I enjoyed doing it. So if you're interested, I watched the royal treatment on a whim and talked about it. Anyway, back to this. So I saw where it left off, and I was talking about how Shanae is just doing what Elizabeth does and trying to be better at it. She this episode was just dumb. Really though, it's just like, it's not the type of drama I'm into watching. And that's what the beginning episodes of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette kind of always are. It's this really stupid stuff. Or maybe I might just be growing out of when I would have found this maybe entertaining earlier on. I just, a lot of these ladies are very young, but that's not even to say anything because the people of kind of the contention or like that's causing stupid drama are older. I mean, I think Shanae is 39, so it's not even about age. It's just there are, I had talked on how like Shanae had eaten a good chunk of the shrimp that Elizabeth had prepared and then goes to prepare her own batch, which I would have appreciated had the intention just been, oh, you know, I should also cook for people to share because I had eaten probably more than my share because there's still a lot of girls in the house. And Elizabeth had, you know, offered it to everyone. And Shanae went and took 8 pieces of shrimp when she probably should have taken 2 to 3. So it's like, if that had been why she'd cooked the shrimp, then it would have been all good and fine, but it's not. Or at least it did not feel that way at all. It felt more of a, oh, Elizabeth thinks she's so great that she made shrimp for everyone. Like, I can make shrimp too. It's not a big deal. Here, let me show you. Sort of thing is how it felt. It's just really petty, stupid shit. And like, later on in the group date, Elizabeth's gonna go and do a jump, hop, wrap around, hug thing. I'm gonna do it too, only I'm gonna do it longer and just have this really steamy makeout session in front of everybody. Like, she just feels the need to one up Elizabeth. I don't know why she has this sort of competition and it's one-sided. Like, it just feels like Shanae's got some maturing to do. And I feel weird saying that because I don't know her as a person, but all I can do is go based off of what we're seeing from the show. And yes, it is an edited show, but these are still actions that you have done. And it's, she gets upset at Elizabeth again for not acknowledging her presence when she came and brought the shrimp over. And it's like Shanae has selective hearing or understanding or whatever it is, because Elizabeth had explained sort of the parameters of how her ADHD affects her. And one of them is that things happening in the peripheral sometimes don't register for her. And it's like Shanae doesn't want to understand that. I actually thought that maybe she had forgotten, but then she actually does say it later on at some point. Anyway, so, Shanae cries to Clayton about the treatment she's getting in the house that's sort of being led by Elizabeth, and that Elizabeth is telling the girls basically not to be friendly with Shanae, which is like, but when I was watching it, I couldn't understand if she actually felt this way or if she was just putting it on. So later on, which is why it's just like, I love Sienna/Sierra. I'll learn your name, I promise. I'm very sorry that I'm blanking on it right now, but I love you. They were all sitting again in silence, and I believe her name is Lindsay, right? She had just come back and was looking visibly upset, and they just found out that Clayton had talked to her about being addressed as one of the people that are not treating Shanae in a nice way in the house. And it's just like, this girl just looks sweet as a button, so I don't understand why Clayton would be believing this. But anyway, they're all just sort of sitting there when Shanae comes and sits down, and it's silent. And I'm just like, oh, come on, just talk about it. And thank you, Sienna/Sierra, for being like, honey, what's up? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you talking like this? Nobody's treating you badly. She's not the type of villain that is entertaining to watch, I guess, because generally those types of villains are the ones that are actively doing things that are sort of vindictive or manipulative. And yes, it's shocking to see that there are people out there like that. But with Shanae, I can't tell if that's the case or if it's because for the majority, it seems to be actions stemming from insecurity is what it seems like. Again, just because it echoes things from my own past, it's just my past from middle school. So it's not even high school drama, it's middle school drama. Like, it's a mess. It's a mess, and I feel so bad for Elizabeth for having to be the target, and I don't understand why. I mean, other than she sat next to, like, took the opportunity to sit next to Clayton at that first group date with the comedian and playing the Never Have I Ever game. That's it. That's all she did. And since then, all of a sudden, she's just been, I don't know, it's like she's the red flag in a bullfight, and Shanae is the bull. So I guess I am interested to see next week's episode. I don't know, I was thinking that this season's sort of losing me a little bit, but I don't know. I'm sort of intrigued to see how this conversation goes down. Sure. Yeah. That's about it. Toodles.